I'll never forget when Britt played me the first riff for Nosferatu, man, the intro riff. I thought he was fucking with me. I just couldn't find a melody in it or a timing or anything. I thought he was just screwing around on guitar. And then once I kind of broke it down, I started to hear the melody in it. And I loved that feeling when I would be introduced to a new song and I couldn't, and I didn't understand it. Where it took a while for me to wrap my head around it. And these new songs were kind of like that.
Nosferatu, man, Britt, I think, kind of had that one worked out. I remember we played it a ton, but I feel like he might have more or less had the arrangement worked out ahead of time, but I don't know. I could be totally wrong.
I remember it being kind of largely worked out, like I was saying, like Nosferatu, man, like, somehow we just sort of imagine what vocals would be like, at least rhythmically, and sort of made the song with that in mind. And then I remember writing the lyrics sort of like, almost last minute, and, maybe doing some smaller tweaks after that, but them sort of fitting in. But sometimes I think the lyrics would inform the arrangements. I was a fan of that film Nosferatu by F.W. Murnau, and it did inform the lyrics. It seems like Brian mostly sang louder on Tweez, and that didn't seem to be an option for me. Brian sings the louder parts or the sung parts in any song that I'm on, and I only do the spoken parts. Maybe Leonard Cohen was an influence. I'm not sure. We had started listening to Hank Williams on old country, Hank Williams especially, and yeah, I just was kind of listening to a lot of that, and it just kind of seemed to fit in.
I can be settled down and be doing just fine till I hear that old train rolling down the line. Will I see disappear and set me in a world with hope that beautiful flow?
The opening, like kind of intro riff, that part, I don't know what time signature that is. And that was kind of a normal thing with Maurice, like just to come up with offbeat stuff that we didn't know, or I didn't know what time signature it was. But there was one riff in Maurice that I purposely tried to make as fucked up as possible. And people would tell me it was stuff like, oh, that's 11/16 or something, so I don't know about like the actual theory or time signatures behind it. But for Nosferatu, man, it's still like kind of complicated for me to wrap my head around because I had the harmonic part where I bend one of the harmonics. When the lyrics stop, like I do this, I have to break away from the riff and turn on the distortion and play this harmonic part. Like doing that on top of this already offbeat riff, it's really complicated. And plus, there's this thing where Britt will open the hi-hat. It goes like dun 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 dun. And other times it goes dun dun dun. And when it goes dun dun dun, that's when he opens the hi-hat. And I have to lock that in with him. Like to me, that's part of the mechanics of that riff is locking that little part. Because we also all know that we're in sync and we're at the right part of the song. But that's never happens at a predictable time either. I always have to have a cheat sheet, even if I have it memorized, just so I don't have a brain fart on stage. Because if I fuck that up, if I mess up one part of it, I'm just kind of screwed up. If I can't hear the vocals, like I'm kind of screwed up that whole intro. So I have to play it right every single time. I can't screw that part up or I'll screw up the song. Yeah, that first part is still tricky to me to this day. It's just simple memorization, but old age and weed will do that to you.
And I've been told, actually, Pajo may have been pointing this out, like the number of times we do different things is like different every verse. And I just haven't really studied it, to be honest. But No, we just knew the arrangements, you know. There definitely wasn't like we're just gonna play and then look at each other and switch to a different riff. Like it was already pretty well arranged. Yeah, I'm like that 33 and a third book, which actually turned out pretty good in my opinion. The part where it analyzes the music, I just pretty much skipped all that. I was like, whatever, I don't know, you know. Like, I mean, I have some musical knowledge, but somebody's like, now is that in 13/6? I'm like, fuck if I know. I mean, I don't know. We just played it, you know.
Man, I would be lying if I said there was no counting going on. If there was one thing that was true and consistent about working with Slint, it was that the music, the instrumental aspects of the music came first, and there was nothing more that had to happen for a song to be worthy. There may be further expectations, there may be goals, like in the context of a group of songs to achieve this or that, but with those guys, you know, like wondering when the bridge was going to hit or where the hook was or whatever, that just wasn't a thing, thankfully.
I think that the odd time stuff just mostly was a outgrowth of our experimentation. Like I said, like in Maurice, the previous band of Slint, and then in early Slint, it was like there was no filter. It was just whatever came out is what we did, and we were experimenting a lot. So I think we just kind of had a playful attitude towards it, and that kind of made us play stuff like that and then maybe incorporate it if it seemed cool.
That was also like another thing for Maurice. Like I always had to count because when you arrange a song really unorthodox like that and you're chopping riffs in half or in quarters, you know, when you're really like just kind of purposely trying to make an asymmetrical song, I think you get really used to counting. Like it's just normal. Like, okay, the second time I do this, I play it 4.5 times, not 6 times. I think you just get used to that. And after a while, you don't want to be the guy that fucks it up for everybody else. So, yeah, like counting, I don't even notice it now. It's just part of playing the song, right?
So this, more than any other song, Britt drove the writing of it. I can remember working with him on my guitar parts, as well as Dave's. That song, it wasn't fully formed, but Britt's aesthetic and structurally his sort of fingerprints, like, were all over that track. And it seemed right. It seemed really good to shift into that mode, just kind of have a more unified, straight ahead, sort of propulsive, somewhat melodic and kind of precious, but still getting into like a sort of a rocking territory that that became kind of rare for us on that record. That was super cool to hear that song come to life, and it's always been like one of my absolute favorites.
That one was fun to play. Like, you know, he's one of the best drummers of all time, I'm going to say. So it was definitely fun to be a rhythm section with him. So that was a fun one to play for that reason, because me and him just got to like really lock it into that groove or whatever. And I remember him, I think you can see it in some of that footage that's in the documentary. His parents had this lamp hanging down right by his drum set, and he would hit the lamp like the bell of a ride cymbal, you know. That's another memory I have of it.
Britt he has this sort of like primitive instinct for what works in terms of timing and inflection. Like, he's really good at shifting up accents and slipping between time signatures in a way that's seems extremely fluid. I mean, having worked with Britt over the years, it's just like an innate ability that he has. Live drummers are extremely adept at like doing those things. I think Britt is cool and unique in his ability to do them in a extremely sparse sort of setting. He can throw these changes in without playing all over the place. Like, it's cool how minimal a beat can be and how surprising it can be when it's in Britt's hands.